is Rex Archibald, and I'm a driver here at Tamuka Transport. I drive a bulk truck. I've been with Tamuka Transport for 13 years. I think it's a good idea that employers offer health insurance for the employees. It gives them peace of mind, and I think also the employer probably has a bit of peace of mind that he knows his work is going to be looked after and hopefully get back to work soon. Yes, I made some claims with NIB health insurance last year when I was diagnosed with cancer. They got back to me really quickly within 5 days, and everything worked out. They helped me with my hospital costs and also some of my treatment costs. With having a health insurance, it definitely sped up my having my operation. Going through the private system was definitely a lot quicker than what the public would be. I think having health cover is very valuable because you never know when you're going to actually need it. Yes, the services with NIB Healthcare have certainly helped me probably take better care of myself. With the help of the transport, it's certainly eased my mind anyway.
My name's Akin. I'm the Managing Director at Tamuka Transport. We have been in business 53 years. We have 220 staff and a very strong geographic region in the South Canterbury Basin. One of the reasons why we got into NIB Healthcare was because of our ageing staff at the time. And we see return and reward with how to assist them back to work a lot quicker, and with ultimate care, it has definitely sped that recovery process up. In terms of well-being for our staff, it was recognising that it probably wasn't taken seriously back in the day. We used this as a promotional tool to be able to make people aware of the actual well-being and the value it adds. I talk about NIB Healthcare as a relationship business partner. I think they got inside our business and they were invited to, and they understood our staff and the requirements they needed to provide for our team. So NIB supported us with a wellbeing package with an exercise and bits and pieces. This is to motivate and to get staff moving, and for the ones that are going through light rehab, that they can use for light rehab as well. With the healthcare package that we have got, we definitely see a bigger improvement. And we have timeframes with this shortened right down. I see the NIB online portal as a huge strength that allows the customers, being our staff, to access and to see where their claims sit and what's available. Our relationship and partnership with NIB is second to none, so that's enhanced our well-being tenfold in the workplace.
Tamuka Transport have a diverse fleet and are a mainstay in the South Canterbury economy. They provide a wide range of transport services to local businesses, farmers and large production facilities. They have a solid reputation, and having a well-presented brand contributes to this. Tamuka Transport have invested in wash facilities to make it easier to keep their fleet clean, freeing up their team to focus on other productive activities. Let's take a closer look at the chassis wash. While simple in concept, this chassis wash system is engineered to have the right combination of pressure, flow, distance and nozzle design to ensure it sluices away heavy grime without damaging vehicles. At much lower pressures than a handheld pressure washing system, the chassis wash turns a long and unpleasant job into a simple drive-through. This chassis wash design can be set up as a recycled water system, and numerous configurations are available to meet the needs of any fleet. Dozens of adjustable nozzles flush the complex underside of these trucks, making maintenance much easier. In less than 2 minutes, the whole truck and trailer unit has had the gross solids removed from its underside. But what about the upper portion of the Tamuka fleet? The Omega Wash gantry rollover wash system takes care of this with ease. The driver simply pulls up till they get a solid red light. Ooh, too far. Back up. A wash recipe is selected to suit the truck. For this run, we'll leave the pre-soak on. Press start and away the machine goes. The pre-soak cycle is optional. It travels the length of the vehicle, applying detergent in advance in order to soften heavy grime prior to scrubbing. With the pre-soak cycle over, the brushes start their work. The Omega Wash system has a variable speed drive dedicated to each brush, giving the system unprecedented control and gentleness on the vehicles. Note how the system carefully contours around the stone guard and visor. The system then scrubs the aerofoil on top of the cab. The top brush doesn't run on top of stock crates, but it does run on many other truck configurations, as you will soon see. The side brushes then come in to thoroughly scrub the rear. The Omega Wash system then scrubs and rinses its way home, ensuring the vehicle combination is thoroughly cleaned. The system then sets back, giving the driver easy access to the cab. Back on the road and looking professional in minutes. The system is then ready to go again. It never gets tired. Wash recipes and intelligent sensing allow it to work well on the diverse Temuka transport fleet. The rear of the truck and the front of the trailer get a deep clean too. And yes, the Omega Wash system does an excellent job on the back wall. It is now easier than ever for the diverse Temuka transport fleet to stay well maintained and looking good.
大家好，我是梁燕，欢迎大家来到Ashomi 的直播间啊。大家好，我是梁燕，欢迎大家来到Ashomi NZ 的一个直播间。今天我们要给大家讲解的一些insurance 的一些问题哈，主要就是想回答一下大家在买保险过程当中遇到过一些什么样的问题哈。那么你的问题是些什么呢？我们可以给您做现场解答。欢迎大家 subscribe 的这个Ashomi NZ channel， 然后呢，也欢迎大家来提问，在这个留言区留言，然后呢，我们会及时回答您的问题哈。欢迎大家，欢迎小朋友们进来哈，那么 有一些什么样的问题，欢迎大家尽管来问一下哈。这几天呢，纽西兰的这个 insurer 相应的提出了很多促销和营销哈。那么保险到底买什么，到底管哪些最好？那这个就是我们要为大家来考虑的事情哈。那欢迎大家一块儿来分享哈。
Kia ora te whānau, nau mai, haere mai, and welcome to the Blues Diabetes Quiz thanks to NIB. I'm here in the lovely Tāmaki Makaurau at the Blues headquarters, and we've got something a little bit special for you today. With me, I have Dalton, Jonathan, and Marcel. The boys have just finished training and they're starving. Fortunately enough for you boys, I've been cooking out a storm in the kahini and I'm going to be making for them today Hainanese chicken served in a beautiful broth with mung beans, bok choy and maybe a bit of chili. Sound good, boys? So this is where things get a little interesting. Only one of the three boys actually get to try my kai today. So I've put together a quiz for the boys on a very important topic of diabetes. So whoever gets the most answers right gets to eat my delicious kai. Ko rere tātou, are we ready? Ka pai. How is diabetes diagnosed? A, doing nothing. B, going to hospital. Or C, blood tests with your GP.
C.
C.
Blood test with the GP.
Your answer is absolutely right. Diabetes is diagnosed by blood tests which can be organised through your GP.
That's good. That's thank you.
Who has more risk of diabetes in Aotearoa? A, females. B, male. C, everyone. Ooh,
Everyone.
everyone. And that's why we should all get checked by our GPA. Kapai. What age group in New Zealand is most affected by diabetes? Ooh, yeah.
I'm going younger generation, so 16 to 24.
No? Yes.
Is it 50 plus?
Okay, you are closer. So it's our older generation, which is most common, 15 to 20% of our older generation. However, it is increasing in our younger generation nowadays.
Half points. Surely half points.
How many types of diabetes are there?
Is there two?
Close.
Yeah, I was going to go two as well.
There are actually three types. Type 1, Type 2, and gestational diabetes, which wahine can experience throughout their pregnancies. Can I eat sugar if I have diabetes?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. The answer is yes. However, you need to just make sure that you're having them in small amounts. And if in doubt, you can always go and have a corridor to your GP. Okay, boys, it is almost dinner time. And in a minute, I'll award the winner. But before I do, I have a quick message for our whānau watching. Talk to your GP about how to prevent or manage your diabetes. They can help you understand what support and treatment is required. Your NIB healthcare consultant is your policy champion. They help you to understand what you're entitled to, manage claims and pre-approvals. Go to nib.co.nz to find out more information. And now for the big moment, drum roll please. And in third place we have Jonathan.
Yeah, nice, Jonathan.
Second place, Marcel. And the winner of the Healthy Kai is Dalton. Yee-hoo! Yes. Let's plate up and eat. This is actually going to be really nice. Ko rere te kai, Anei.
Go Dolphs.
Thank you, that's awesome.
Enjoy. Thanks for watching, whānau. Now, don't be shy and get checked out at your GP for diabetes. Hei kona e huama. Are you going to share any with your mates?
Yeah,
Get out of here.
Bodhi, let's talk about balance. How do you balance rugby and then other parts of your life?
There's more to me than just playing rugby, so when I go home, I'm the husband, I'm the friend, the son, the brother. Ultimately, that's more important than me as a rugby player, to have that balance in your life. And it's also great for your relationship too.
Or tere, losing in sport, it's inevitable, no matter how good you are. So how do you deal with it?
You always want to win and you always think it's all about winning. But I remember one time when I was in Wellington, we'd lost the final against the Highlanders. And it was one of the worst experiences I've ever seen or been a part of. And I remember Conrad Smith got up And he said in front of everybody in the change room, he said, the sun will always rise in the morning, it's only a rugby game. And ever since then, everything about rugby and life has just changed for me.
Yeah, I think that's a tough thing to separate yourself between the footy player and the person. It's like, you do something bad on the field, it doesn't mean you're a bad person.
Everyone gets down at some point. So when you are, how do you deal with it?
I think sort of the older I've gotten, you have the low times, you sort of try and lean on other people a little bit more, put things in perspective, what's really important. I've got a young family now, so it gives me perspective every day.
During the low times, how do you pick yourself up out of it?
I think being vulnerable, that's what it's all about, and understanding that there are so many people going through the same thing.
Is Bowden Barrett vulnerable?
I've been taught to be vulnerable. It takes courage, and I think we're getting better at it. And it's so important that we understand that, especially as males. There's a persona that we have to be tough and not talk about things. I think that's just not the way it should be. We're all going through challenges at times, so it's important that we, be vulnerable.
Picture this, there's someone at home sitting out there that's going through a tough time. What message or advice would you give to them?
Yeah, I guess for me, it's if you're going through a tough time is try and find that memory from when you were happy. You'll find it.
Your GP is a pretty good start. If someone is struggling out there, GPs are very open and helping people if they're struggling.
Talk to someone you trust. You feel better the minute that you talk about it.
Thank you so much for sharing your experiences and your journey with us. I know that some of the things we talked about is not always easy, so thank you.
Cool, thank you, Kirsty. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Matt Duffy from the Blues. I've partnered with NIB to take you through a few movement exercises that you can use before preparing to exercise, but also to restore balance to the body after exercise. I'll also talk through a few tips on how to keep well. The following exercises are examples to target common areas of restrictions or tightness in the body. Exercise number 1 is neck rotations. So you want to stand upright, turn your head and look over your left shoulder, pausing for a couple of seconds at each time. Repeat this 3 times. Exercise number 2 is a thoracic exercise, which is called open book. So you want to lie on your side, knees together, and arms out straight. And then you want to open a book while keeping your knees on the ground and together. You can rip this out, or you can hold. Perform the exercise both ways. Exercise number 3 is called the greatest stretch in the world. So you want to get in a low lunge position, hand on the ground, and then you want to rotate up. Do that both sides. You want to open your chest out. Look up towards the sky. Exercise number 4 is one of my favorites. It's called downward dog, and it's with the ankles. You just want to get up and push up a tight position. Get your ankles flat on the ground, or as close to as possible, and then push your bum into the air. If you're particularly tight in this area, you can walk your feet out and just get a bit of movement. And then you just want to push back. Push your heels as close to the ground as possible. You should feel a bit up your hamstrings also. The last exercise is to relax. So find a comfortable seat and you just want to breathe really deeply up through the nose. Down through the mouth. Keep the body moving. Exercise reduces levels of cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and regular exercise is even more important now in self-isolation. Aim to get outside to move your body every day, and this will help you with your physical and mental health. Or look for online classes, circuits, or even a yoga class.
Remember, if you're starting any form of exercise, it's important to follow the guidance of your doctor. During this time, we want to prioritise our sleep hygiene. You want to aim to 7 to 9 hours sleep per night and develop a routine to go to bed at around a similar time every night. Stop the devices. I know it's tough at this time when, we've got a lot of Netflix shows that we can be watching late at night. But the blue light that comes from your device may suppress the hormone that regulates your sleep. You want to avoid caffeine and take care with your alcohol. And get up around the same time every morning. Expose yourself to the bright sunlight as soon as you wake up. During times of uncertainty, we may find that we have more stress and anxiety. So it's really important to manage that by staying connected with family and friends and letting them know how you're feeling during this time.